I hope that it's recording. It looks like it is. Okay.
Here we go.
Hello everybody. It's been quite a while though. I haven't really made many videos on the channel lately, you know. Honestly kind of went through a lot of stuff over time, kind of like, you know, kind of like mental burnout, I guess. You know, I'm not saying like the videos were like not gonna make it, you know, like looking back at them kind of was like they were actually pretty good, you know. They got like some really good attention, basically. Not like, oh, I developed like a fan base or some crap or whatever, but it's like, no, you know, like everything kind of like worked itself out. But anyway, as you can see, I am playing Dragonball Gekishin Squadra, and do I really have a few things to say for this game? I do. You know, like that's really the question. Do I have anything to say for this game? The answer is yes, I do. And you know, it's something. I am just flipping through characters here, you know, kind of, but yeah.
Here we go.
But what I'm really wanting to go and basically say for this game though is like, I think when I first started to play it like last month, basically, yeah, it's been about like a month or two since I started playing Squadra there. This was like around like when season 3 wouldn't happen, which was like the last season of the game. The Squadra was like interesting in its own right. It was, you know, it was a interesting concept. Like in the beginning, whenever like the trailer for the game was coming out, I wasn't really iffy with like I wasn't like with it basically. I was thinking like this game's gonna flop and yada yada because like, well, you know, if you've played like League of Legends or a game that's like it basically, you look at Squadra and kind of be like, well, it kind of took that formula right there, kind of, you know. So yeah. But I guess trying it out though kind of changes my mind a little bit about it. It's not too bad, you know, even for a concept like that, but at the same time it's like they could still work some things around. You know, but yeah. So kind of like I'll go into like little segments here and there basically. So like as far as gameplay goes for it, pretty standard gameplay. You get to choose any of these characters here that you get to unlock over time. There's still gonna be like more characters added to, you know, the game. Like just recently they just added Super Saiyan God Goku here. We're gonna get like a Super Saiyan God Vegeta and a Kid Buu character like later in the season. Don't even know if there's supposed to be like a 4th character really, but it's like it's whatever. But I will go and basically say this though, is like just it's like it's okay. As far as like how, you know, playing the characters go, basically like it's pretty alright too, you know, in terms of like, you know, just you can play like a bunch of random characters here, but it's like which one's really the best, you know? You know, because mainly as I saw it was like, you know, like kind of like your recent season characters and stuff like Bardock and Vegito, you know, are kind of like, you know, the really like favorite ones and everything from like last season. You know, even Kefla most definitely is like a favorite character from last season as well. Like this character, even fighting as an AI, is just wow. But yeah. So like I said, overall gameplay wise, it's it's like it's basically just it's okay. Pretty standard, like I said. There's nothing really to it though, like there's no stories, there's no, like there's a lot of like little, like there's not even little, but it's like kind of like heavy PvP focus basically. You can do that against the bots, you can do that against players, you know, there's even like a sub-role thing, like a sub-role battle mode where it's like there's random things that you can do. Like currently right now, it's called Veggie Battle, and basically what you do with that one is you just collect like little veggie resources, and it gives like XP for your moves, which I will talk about that next here with the characters. Because yeah, there's like these other modes there. Like before, it wasn't really like all these like, you know, this ranked battle and all this kind of stuff here. It was more just all like there was your standard like quick battle. You had like, you know, these characters right here, like the beginner and intelligent, or intermediate, I guess is the better way to put it. And then of course you have the sub-rule battle, which changes like every few days or so. So right now it's Veggie Battle. After 3 days, it could basically turn into after like Veggie Battle, it could turn into like sword delivery, or it could turn into like a capture the flag kind of thing too. Like there could be like another thing with that too. I think there was like a capture the flag kind of mode. Kind of thing, so yeah. I was hoping I wasn't hearing my system kind of just like, you know, be burning out or something. The next thing that I'm also wanting to go and talk about though, is the characters, like I said. So as you can see here, I have unlocked like a lot of the characters, you know, here, except for Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Kind of very like, you know, I haven't really like went to test them out yet, even though it says like I can, you know, like I've yet to test out this character, which I probably might pretty soon, and then I'll probably give like the synopsis later. But yeah, but overall though, I have like played a lot of these characters here and everything, and most of them are kind of like, yeah, I do get their gimmick, I do vibe with these characters, I really do. But then there's like a small few that's kind of like, like, why do they make the character like this, basically? Like, they need to kind of like either rework the character, or they just need to like give them like a better move, or give them like a buff to what they, you know, to what they have, you know, like just make them better. So obviously here it would be talking about Piccolo as the first character. But yeah, the first character would be talking about is Piccolo. So Piccolo here has a lot of, yeah, Piccolo has like a lot of like ranged attacks basically. Like he's got his light grenade, he's got his Hell's on trap. I guess I'll just showcase that. Yeah, he's got his light grenade. There we go. He's got his demon whip, but that one I'm not really impressed with at all. I'm really not. Then of course his ult is special beam cannon, which I guess is like a pretty like sure-in of like, yeah, you'll get a, you know, you'll basically kind of get like, you know, oh, I took out somebody basically, you know, like I basically got one right there, you know, kind of like a sure thing. Now of course this is the passive, which it all just revolves around like Piccolo's like rush attack basically, which I'm not gonna say his passive is bad. I'm not. It's just that the issue that I have is though is like most of Piccolo's moves are like key focused basically. Like he has like a lot of like energy blast moves, but Demon Whip is the only one that's like not an energy blast kind of move. Like either the way how I would do like Demon Whip is like he can stretch to a wall. Yeah, like Piccolo can stretch to a wall with Demon Whip, but he would have to like, you know, have like another additional input with that. Like he can do Demon Whip and then probably carry it with Explosive Wave is what Piccolo can basically do. That would be perfectly okay, but personally though, it would probably just be better if like they just gave him like Explosive Wave as the move instead, because like I said, a lot of his moves here are basically just like energy based moves, and then you just got one that's like, oh, I could just like, you know, grapple onto a person or grapple onto a wall, and that's it. Which again, it's not ideally, because like for Piccolo's case, like he's not even meant to be like a frontline attacker. You know, he's not to be, like, he's meant to basically just be, like, support from behind. So, yeah. Like I said, I would just give him, like, the explosive wave, and Piccolo would have already just been, like, one of, like, the actual, like, decent characters to use in the game. But just overall, it's like, he's been kind of getting, like, you know, just crapped on lately, basically. Like, nobody, like, really wants to, like, you know, care to play Piccolo that much. Like, I've seen some, but not a whole lot. So, yeah. So now we're gonna go and talk about another character that I personally just don't like in this game, because I feel like they need to rework this character, and that is, of course, Kale. So, hold on a second here, I'm sorry. So, so basically with Super Saiyan Kale, or Super Saiyan Berserk Kale, so, as we can see, like, this character can basically, like, transform into the Berserk state, though, but the problem is, though, is, like, that's kind of it. You know, that is really, like, kind of it, though. I can see, like, with her passive, though, that, like, I honestly didn't really read into her passive, but, like, again, it's, like, one of those, like, ones that's, like, not really important, because to me personally that just basically means like that, again, Kale is like not really meant to basically be like an attack type of character. Like, she's meant to be like something else, but yet she is an attack character, the same as Piccolo. Piccolo does not really deserve the type of being an attack. He really deserves to be like a tech character, because all Piccolo really does is just give support basically for like himself, but even others. So I'm very confused at that. But yeah, so once again, these are all like key-based moves basically with what Kale can do. Yeah, and then of course it says like that she can transform into the Super Saiyan basically if she's near anybody. So I don't know if that's gonna showcase that there. Let's see. Or is that just gonna shoot? Okay, I think that's just gonna show the key again. Yeah, it's just gonna show the key. All right. I guess that's basically showing of like that she doesn't really transform. It just says like she could just deal more damage with like an ally nearby. So she's kind of like a Kid Gohan, kind of, where it's like her, she kind of gives like the stat boost where it's like attack and I think it's speed or defense is what it is with Kid Gohan, where you have to basically be by one another, basically. Like, you have to be like in a certain radius of one another, and that's how that's gonna work there. But again, it's you know, I'm not really sure like how I basically like feel about that, you know, basically. I'm like, that's how that works right there, you know. Looking at like her moves here though, with like a lot of them, like Blaster Shot looks pretty interesting. Honestly, I feel like this probably should have been more of the move that I should have been like using a whole lot on this character, because it's great, you know, like it's multi-shot, so it's great. But yeah, then of course we have Charge Force, which this one I'm not really like sold on this move though, because like it's great, but like it could easily be avoided compared to Blaster Shot where it can't. Because like as you can see here, like that's like a quick shot right there compared to this one where it's like it's got the range, but it's not like, you know, it's not great, you know. This one of course could also easily be avoided basically, you know, like this one you have to use it more whenever it's like they're huddled up in a group basically. So yeah, I also did not know that you could put like other supers with that though, but again, it just shows like, you know, like, again, you basically just have to go and just, like, you have to make sure the move hits, basically. Which, that move right there, it doesn't really hit at all, because, like, people can just move out of the way, honestly. It's probably just better just to do, like, Blaster Shot the whole time. You know, you can use Charge Force and you can use Energy Spear. Like, I'm not telling you, like, if anybody that plays this game and plays this character, I'm not saying, like, not to use these moves. Like, you can. It's just, personally, how I would go about it would be, like, Blaster Shot is, like, best friend #1 right here. Like, this is, like, the only move that you basically just straight up need with Kale. That's just straight up it. Now of course evolution break, that's basically Kale's, you know, her ult, and that's where she basically like kind of transforms basically. So it is like a temporary transformation for Kale, but personally though, I just feel like they should have just given her like a transformation like to use just from the start basically. Like they should have just had it be like that, you know. And how it would work is, it would kind of work kind of like how cells would work basically, where it's like, Kale has to be kind of like in a certain kind of like her meter has to be at a certain limit or something like that. Like it has to be, like her meter has to be full for the effect to work. Like she can go and like transform like that, and yeah, she is gonna stay in the transformed state, but it's like, but it's basically like saying like the whole point though is like, Kale's transformation would be triggered by like the amount that she kind of like gets attacked basically. So like the more damage that Kale basically takes, the more like it just, you know, kind of kickstarts it, because like, yeah, if she's, you know, like if she's gonna get like kicked into a corner basically, you know, like that meter is gonna get full and she's gonna have to bounce back with, you know, doing what's being showcased right here, you know, instead of it just being like an ultimate, like it's an actual transformation. Now, would I keep the ultimate though is the real question. Would I keep it though? I guess I could keep the ultimate though. Like personally, if it was me making this character, I would keep the ultimate, you know, as like just like a move to use in that state. But like honestly though, it could go like either way. Like she could go and have this, or she could have like another move, you know. Would I keep any of her supers though? Blaster Shot is staying. Charge Force, I might, you know, I might want it to actually have like a much wider like effect basically, instead of just like it's used like that, you know, because I'm not saying it's bad with the charge though, like it's great, but just it could be reworked some, you know. Energy Spear could definitely, you know, like be reworked some, because like, yes, it is like kind of slow, and yes, you can go and combine it as seen here, but personally though, it's like, again, it's that slow moving blast move that you can like move out of the way though. So I would kind of have it where it's like, it can, like, whenever it's shot though, it's like, it can technically like, you know, it's gonna hit him. Like, it's not gonna be slow, it's gonna be kind of quick to hit him basically. So, yeah. Yeah, like I'm saying with this character though, it's just not really one of my favorite characters to use in this game. Like Kale definitely is not, because it's just, probably would have just preferred it that they just like had her berserk state be a transformation, like just like you get to use that the whole time, instead of it just like, oh, it's an ult that you have to wait like 100, it's like 180 seconds for, or something like that, almost 200 seconds just for that ultimate to come back. Like, it's ridiculous. You know, I'm trying to see another character here though, because I mean at this point though, like with Frieza, I thought like I wouldn't like him, but no, like there's not really much to say about him. It's like he follows the gimmick of what he's supposed to do. It's just like maybe the style of like how a tech character with support is supposed to be, like how I feel is like, you want them to kind of like do more than what they're like you want them to do more than what they're already doing. So Frieza's support is like giving a support boost while also having like his little like allies like Zarbon and the Dodoria to be sent out and just do, you know, the things they gotta do. You know, like the Dodoria basically is like the shield, Zarbon is basically like your extra like damage blaster right there, you know, like because he does it from a widespread effect. So yeah, let's see, Gammas, I would basically just say simply like just have them reworked a little bit though, like especially with the switch mechanic, because with the switch mechanic though, I don't want it to be like that they get like one super, or they're like locked out of one super whenever you're like one of the Gammas basically. So like Gamma 2 has a move of his own, but of course if Gamma 2 is taken out basically, you know, like they basically got him and you're stuck as Gamma 1, you can't use Gamma 2 because that's like, you know, he's gone. There's got to be like a long cooldown for Gamma 2 to come back. And then of course vice versa, which means like there's gonna be a lockout super that you can't use, which is like basically ridiculous in my opinion though. It's like, give the Gammas like more supers to use instead of it just like, oh, one super is gonna be locked and you have to, you know, because like I'm gonna say here though, like Zarbon and Dodoria, I don't think theirs are locked basically whenever they're taken out. It's more like they're just on a cooldown, but they're not locked. So, you know, with this one, it's like they are locked whenever one of them is taken out, you know, and it's like that's ridiculous. So yeah. Then of course we get to a really problematic character that I have used like quite a little bit since I unlocked him. Ultimate Gohan, I feel like that they fumbled making this character because like everything that he does is like just, it's not even like he's doing a stat boost for like him or even the team. It's more like he's just doing like a lot of like defense, you know, like defense down or like stats down for the enemy team basically. But even then it's like this Gohan should have had it where like his, you know, like his stats should have basically just been raised up from the start basically, and it could stack because of the fact that every time like he's gonna go and, you know, take one down, you know, that should be like the stat growth right there. Kind of almost like how Gotenks basically works. Like every time, like whenever you go and take out an opponent, like each time you do, there's like that little effect basically, which I think like is his passive. Let me see here. Yeah, it is a passive basically. So it applies movement speed. Yeah, so basically it's it is movement speed that Gotenks basically gives. But like think about that with like Gohan though, with Ultimate Gohan. You would basically want this character to basically go and just like have that, but like it actually gives like a stat increase of like attack or like defense or something like that. Like that's what you would want Gohan to do, because that's what Gohan's whole flow was, you know, especially this one. This one basically got like the power boost where like all of his stats kind of just like skyrocketed up. Like this, in the series, this dude could have basically just like beaten Boo if he wanted to, but he just didn't do it, you know, because plot reasons. But in terms of like this game though, they definitely could have just made it where like, yes, each time that you go and take out an opponent there is that stat increase that happens, and that would basically lead to like, you know, attack up, defense up, you know, like your moves basically get stronger or something like that. Like more, you can deal out more damage just in general. Like that would be the point of this Ultimate Gohan, which honestly would be great. Or have it where it's almost like the Kid Gohan here, where his passive, the friendship boost, basically where it's like it's the energy attack up and all defense up, you know. Yeah. Like basically like the attack up and the defense up whenever like nearby enemies basically. Like yeah. It should be working the same like this, but on like the Ultimate Gohan, because again, that would make a lot more sense there, where it's like his probably would be a lot stronger by himself, but the minute that he goes and gives it to like other people, basically, it's like, yeah, they do basically get stronger, you know, and that is kind of the point, you know. Like, he probably could have worked well more as like a tank character, if I'm being completely honest. Kind of having him as a tech is a very bad idea, because like he shouldn't even be a tech in the first place. Like Ultimate Gohan should have been like a tank character, you know. He should have been like a tank character, probably attack, but definitely a tank character for sure is what Ultimate Gohan should have been, because his supers don't really do anything like tech related. Like when you think tech related, you think like these characters actually have to like put support in some way, shape, or form. Like, you know, with Krillin is a tech character because one, all this guy really does is just set up traps. That is what this guy basically does. He just sets up traps. He's got like his little orb traps, you know, like his little key orb traps that he sets up. Which of course the enemy opponents do not know, like if it was set there or not. It's like it randomly hits them, you know. He's got, what is it? He's got the solar flare, which is also really great, you know. There's the solar flare. And then of course there's another one which is basically like kind of like how Piccolo's works with the Hellzone grenade trap, like that, but Krillin actually has it where like his can actually move compared to Piccolo's where it can't. So yeah, But yeah, Krillin just has like a lot of like trap moves basically. So in other words, like yes, he is providing support from the back because that's exactly what his job is, and that's good. That's a good thing. You know, it's not even bad at all. Kid Gohan, as we just saw, he literally has his passive is literally friendship boost. He's literally giving, you know, the assist. Like he's giving the assist of like attack and defense up for all like, you know, the allies that are basically near him. So in other words, like yeah, this Gohan basically is like perfect for tech basically, you know. So yeah. Boo here is also perfect for tech because again, you know, he has abilities that actually help the team. He's got the gum move, or like the bungee gum move, or not really bungee gum, but it's like he wraps up the opponent in like the gum substance, obviously, like how he does it, you know, because he's basically like a giant gumball. But anyway, but Boo can go and do that to kind of trap the enemies, kind of like it makes their movement slower, you know, but it also deals like more damage and everything by like rush attacks or by supers basically, the more that they get trapped with it, because like you can stack that, you know. So there's that. Plus Boo also has where, you know, he can basically heal you as well, you know. So just saying, like there's that to consider. That's why Boo is a tech character. It's great, you know, it's very great. Frieza, as I just mentioned, like why he's great as a tech character is because not only does he give the speed boost of, he gives a speed boost, like one of his supers is granting speed boost for the teammates basically, and even himself, but he also has Zarbon and Dodoria that also provide support as well. So again, like it makes sense why Frieza's a tech character, you know, it's perfect. 17 being a tech character also makes sense because not only can he go and like deal out damage basically, and I think he also has a stun move as well, which is his R2. I need to look at that real quick here. It was this R2, right? Yeah, barrier knuckle, which yeah, movement speed down. It's not really so much as like a stun, but it does slow their like their movement speed. So again, it's technically still good. You know, it's not even bad.
Show some respect for nature.
But yeah, but he's got that, but he also has it where his L2, his barrier basically gives like, you know, bonus health basically for like a short period of time, you know. It keeps the allies alive instead of like, oh, you know, like you're gonna like basically get them from the start, you know, like, oh no, it keeps them alive, you know, much longer. So yeah. Especially if it's like in a tough fight, you know, so yeah, 17 is perfect for that and everything. Plus his ultimate is actually really good as well because if the enemy team is trying to heal, 17's ultimate basically like kind of says nope, you can't do that for like another short period of time, unless if it's upgraded, then it could be like much longer, you know, just yeah. So again, perfect as a tech character, 17 is. Hit is a mysterious case, but at the same time, it's like, it makes sense why he is one. It's because Hit is more of like a stealth character. So basically, Hit is trying to go and like deal out like damage, you know, like kind of like slowing them down, but also dealing damage to them at the same time. Just by doing like, you know, the stealth, you know, techniques and everything. Like he can like kind of teleport, appear somewhere, you know, kind of attack them and everything, and it gives them kind of like a negative effect basically, you know, which is part of his passive right now. Like that's what Hit can do. So yeah, so Hit is, you know, perfect for that because he does just like a lot of stealth stuff, but it's a lot of like debuffs on the enemies basically is what he can basically do, which I mean, you could probably go and put that on like attack basically, you could, but it's the mere fact that like a lot of his moves revolve around like the stealth as well as the passive revolves stealth. It's like, it makes sense why Hit has, you know, tag right there. It does. Gotenks, it makes 100%, you know, more sense why he's a tech. It's because Gotenks provides support by unleashing the ghosts, which is one of his supers. He does have an R1 move that also does stun them, so that's also good. And he has Galactic Donuts, which, if upgraded fully, can basically pull the enemy, can pull the enemy in because they would try to like, you know, escape obviously. So Gotenks' Galactic Donuts can go and like, you know, pull them in, and then there you go, you can go